Hi, Ron Roberts here, PGA golf professional of 26 years. I want to welcome you to The Educated Golfer. Today I'm here with Otis Smith. Otis is the men and women's golf coach at Midway University, and he's going to educate you today on some wedge game and a few other things as well. So take it away, Otis.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate it. Again, glad to have an opportunity to speak with you all again. Today, in the theme of being recruited by, colleges and college coaches, want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things we look for when we're actually out watching you play at a tournament. One of those big things is your wedge play. For me, when I'm watching golfers play, a lot of people I'm gonna say a lot of coaches get really caught up on like driving distance and those type of things. Very important aspect of the game. Won't take anything away from that. But for me, I like to see what kids do when they have an opportunity to score. Meaning, they've hit a great drive. They're in the middle of the fairway. They've hit it pretty far. They're putting themselves in a position where they can score with a wedge in their hand. How do they react once they get into that situation? So for me, when I'm out watching kids recruit, this is a big part of it for me. I want to see, what do they do with that opportunity to score? Because if they're doing it as a junior golfer in junior golf tournaments, high school tournaments, it should carry over and continue to get even better when they get to the collegiate level. So one of the things I look for, people, a lot of kids look at these things when they're keeping stats. Proximity to the hole, those type of things are big stats. You got a wedge in your hand. Most good players will tell you that they're trying to, hit the ball within 15 feet. Is kind of the standard number that you hear people say. I take it a little bit further because when I'm coaching and I'm with the players at practice, things that we talk about is, where do we want to miss it? Even though you have a wedge in your hand and you're thinking I'm gonna knock it in the hole, which is a great attitude to have. But the reality of it is, it's not going in the hole normally from the fairway. It's going to be a situation where they're going to have a putt left, hopefully. So one of the things I look at, if they got 100 yards, using round numbers, if they have 100 yards, and say there's a bunker on the right-hand side, the flag is kind of cut a little bit to the right, there's a deep bunker on the right. Knowing if they hit in that bunker, the chance of getting up and down is slim at best. Will they take that 15 feet and, hit a little left of the flag? Some kids just think, I got a wedge in my hand, I'm invincible, I'm going to hit it at the flag no matter what. Well, us as coaches, what we try to do is we try to teach players that in college golf, in particular team golf, even though you play as an individual, your score counts for everybody, not just yourself. So one of the things that we like to see, and I like to see in particular, is like an unselfish thing about your game when you're playing. 15 feet left, below the hole. If it's on a slopey green, do we take in all the factors? If it's a green that slopes severely from back to front, we know we don't want to be past the flag because now we got a very difficult putt coming back down the hill. We know we don't want to miss it right at that particular flag because we know we got a deep bunker on the right-hand side that's going to make it difficult to get up and down. So 15 feet left, a little shorter pin is kind of what we're looking for. So when I'm out recruiting, if I'm seeing kids are going through these thought processes, and obviously you can't see a thought process, but you can tell what a kid is trying to do based on the results a lot of the time. Like, there's a difference between, I tell my kids, there's a difference between playing scared and playing smart. Okay, so some people look at it where, okay, I'm going right at this flag because I got a wedge in my hand, and I'm like, I have no problem. If you got a perfect number, you have, everything, the wind direction is exactly how you need it, everything for your shot shape. There's nothing wrong with being really aggressive. I don't mind that, but you also have to understand that when all those things the factors aren't at play, how do we still, put ourselves in the best position to score? So as a coach, those are some of the things that, one of the things that I really look at is wedge play. I really look to see how kids flight the ball. If they're, most kids, these 60-degree wedges now, and I'm going to pick on men a little bit here. Men love the 60-degree wedge. I think it's a great club to have if you know how to wheel it and manage it. But they like to hit the ball as high as they possibly can in the air with a wedge and hit it, 20 feet by and hopefully spin 20 feet back and be right in the hole. That again, those are wishful thoughts, and a lot of kids, don't get me wrong, they pull them off sometimes, but they do it 1 out of 10 times, and they think that's a shot they should do all the time. But from a coaching standpoint, we look at, how sensible the plays is. Flighting your wedges, big part of the college game. Being able to flight your wedges and control your distance. Good players don't miss distances, by a large number. If you got 100 yards, if you miss a wedge and you hit it 125 yards, that means you're not a really good wedge player. Just be honest. If you got 100 yards and you hit it 75 yards, unless, some other factor, you hit it fat or something like that. But if it's a continuing thing where you're never hitting the ball the correct distance from a certain yardage, that means you really have to work on your wedge play and get better at that wedge shot. Because good players, usually with wedges, are going to try to be somewhere around just below pin high or at pin high at best. And they usually, if they're smart golfers as well, and particularly if they're junior golfers and we're recruiting, we're trying to find them, what we're going to be looking for is that smart, intelligent play that's going to put them in position to, at worst case, make a par, help the teammate out, and if you make a birdie, it's doubly good. So that's kind of what we're looking for in college players. We love the guys and the girls that can hit it, bomb it off the tee, keep it in the fairway. We love those players. Who that's exciting golf for most people. But we also like those methodical, for me, and I'm going to speak for me in this situation, but I think I am speaking for quite a few coaches. We like the methodical players as well who really kind of plots out their round and have a game plan, how they're going to attack each hole and put themselves in position where they're going to have as many wedges as they possibly can into greens so that they can score the best. The commercial from a long time ago, and old caddy told me a long time ago, it said the best way to play golf is to turn 3 shots into 2. So on a par 5, you get on a green in 2 and you 1 putt, you make an eagle 2 putt, you make birdie, whatever you want to call it. On a par 4, you hit your drive, you hit your second shot, and then hopefully your third shot is close enough where it's a tap in. So that's what you want to do. You want to turn 3 shots into 2 as best as possible. So you got a short putt, or you got on a par 5 and 2. But when you can't do those things, how do you maneuver around the golf course? How do you put yourself in the best position to score, in particular with wedges? So for those players out there, if you're trying to get recruited, wedges. I preach it with my team all the time. Learn to get better with your wedges. Learn to practice and be a student of the wedge, because each club in your bag, each wedge in your bag, you should be able to hit certain shots with. If I walk up to you, and I do this to my kids on the golf team, hey, it's a 50-yard shot. Tell me how you're going to hit this shot. And they'll instantly drag a ball and they'll put it in front of them, and they're like, I'm going to swing, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, no, I need you to tell me. Don't hit the shot. Tell me how you're going to do it. Coach, if you ask me how am I going to hit a 60-yard wedge shot, I'm going to take my 58 degree, I'm going to choke down to the steel with my hands, put my right thumb on basically just off the edge of the steel. I'm going to swing to 9 o'clock in my backswing, and 3 o'clock, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do it. And good wedge players, I think, do that. And you'll hear a lot of people say, well, I'm a field player. Well, what is feel? That's what I asked them. What is feel? Well, feel is just practice. You practice it enough so you understand and you feel what you're trying to accomplish. But it all boils down to having some type of game plan, some type of thought process into how that's going to get done. So if I can leave you with anything from this video as far as about how to be recruited and kind of what coaches are looking for when they're watching you out on the golf course, when they come to watch you play, a big thing is they're going to probably be interested in, your wedge play and how you perform when you're in those situations where you can score. So hopefully that's been something that's been is helpful for you in your quest to get a college scholarship. Again, if you have any questions, I would love the feedback. It's Otis Smith Otis Smith is my name. My email address is osmith@midway.edu. Would love to hear feedback from you as far as any questions or anything I can help you with as far as getting recruited. Thank you.
And I'm going to add this in every video. He's looking for good players.
Absolutely.
So please contact him.
Yeah,
he's a good guy, and he will respond.
Yeah.
So again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Appreciate it.